All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Rums of Puerto Rico Taste of Rum Pop-Up Tour live this afternoon from Cuba Libre in Washington, D.C. This is the fourth and final stop on the pop-up tour. So my name is Will Hookinga from Zavvi.co, and I'm just here to welcome you to the live stream this afternoon. So my partner from Zavvi.co is Federico Hernandez, who runs the Taste of Rum Festival every year in Puerto Rico. And he has partnered with the Rums of Puerto Rico program to bring this pop-up version of the festival to the States in a limited, socially distanced, safe capacity this year. So Fede is at Cuba Libre right now with Ramon Diaz, who is an ambassador for the Rums of Puerto Rico program. They're getting everything kind of set up right now, all the stuff that we'll need in order to broadcast the presentation live for you. So I'm back home in Nashville, just kind of helping coordinate everything while they get set up and giving you a quick introduction this afternoon. So before they get started, I want to share a little bit about both the Taste of Rum Festival and the Rums of Puerto Rico program. We'll start with the Rums of Puerto Rico program since it's been around the longest. So Rums of Puerto Rico is actually a government program that goes all the way back to the 1940s. It was started by the Puerto Rico Industrial Development Company to promote the Puerto Rican rum industry and help it maintain certain production standards. Ramon is going to give you a much more in-depth insight into those production standards and kind of the role that the program plays for the Puerto Rican rum industry, why it promotes the industry, why the industry is so important to the island. So the current director of the program is Alexandra Salgado, and she's described it to me as it's sort of a small marketing agency within a government agency, because essentially what they do is they help the rum brands on the island in their promotions and marketing and give them incentives to do their own marketing. So they don't, control or own the distilleries or anything like that. They're just there to help them promote themselves and promote the industry as a whole, because it's vital to the economy there, as I mentioned earlier. And again, you're going to learn more about that soon. So if you're just joining us, welcome. Feel free to grab a glass of rum, get settled in. They're getting settled in right now at Cuba Libre to get the presentation going. So I'm just kind of giving a quick introduction as they get everything in place to go there. So if you're just joining us, get settled in, welcome. And to give you a little bit of information about the Taste of Rum tour, Taste of Rum festival, that is. So Taste of Rum is a festival that takes place every year in Puerto Rico. This past year, actually, they moved to this beautiful waterfront outdoor location in Old San Juan. So it's a outdoor festival right on the water. 12 different rum brands there. There's live music, there's food, there are educational seminars that are put on by the different rum brands from the island. And it's a really, really awesome way to not only learn more about rum, but just to, have a good time in a great place to celebrate rum. So I highly recommend going to tasteofrum.com, and you can learn more about it there, get all the information as, the next phase of the festival is planned for the future. And so, as I said, we're just getting started over here. It looks like they're just a few minutes away from getting going. So before we get started, as I mentioned, Ramon Diaz from the Rums of Puerto Rico program is going to give an in-depth seminar on the program itself, on Puerto Rican rum, and also several of the biggest rum brands on the island. And before we get started, I want to share with you, so the Rums of Puerto Rico program has put together a few short presentations on different rum brands from throughout the island. So I want to share one with you now, which is about a distillery that you won't hear about as much today, but just goes to show, kind of how much there is going on the island. So I want to give you a chance to learn about this distillery now before the presentation begins.
This has been always artisan distillery. We have adopted a lifestyle. We made it a passion to make rum in Puerto Rico. Me and my wife 11 years ago left everything behind, went to this crazy journey, and I say crazy because We had no money, we had a dream.
En ese año 2007 comenzamos el proceso de solicitar los permisos para poder destilar ron en Puerto Rico. Sin embargo, no fue hasta el año 2009, prácticamente entre septiembre a octubre, que nos entregan los agentes de Hacienda en las manos la tercera licencia para poder destilar ron en Puerto Rico en aquel momento.
Pitorro, since the beginning, we made a very strong product, just like they was in the country. It was a 50% rum, it was a white 50% rum, it was a pineapple rum and a fruit rum. Once we did a little research, we knew the market, it was too strong for people to enjoy it, so we wanted to sell rum, we wanted people to enjoy it and not just do one drink, we wanted to enjoy it, make cocktails, make shots, do different things with the rum. So we developed different products, which we have white rum, which is like just comes out of the still, it's a carbon filter, and pitorro, which is a virgin rum, it's like what I call it, it's not being in a barrel or nothing, it's virgin. And then with that same rum, we do other different products like the pineapple. We take actual pineapples and we put them by hand in a product. We have an awesome, great team of people here working with us at the distillery. And if it wasn't for them, me and my wife Maria could not do this anymore. You know, it's a very hard process. Everything's handmade. We put on the fruit inside the bottle, we put the rum inside the bottle by hand, we put the cap by hand. It's all the labels by hand, it's all artisan process.
Nosotros lo que hicimos fue captar el paladar real del pueblo, esa esencia, y trabajarlo con la misma pasión, el mismo cariño y con la misma esencia puertorriqueña dentro de esa botella. Y nuestra receta secreta, amor.
We are very proud that we have been able to patent Pitorro and make it, and not only sell it in Puerto Rico and be one of the top sellers in Puerto Rico, but being able to export it, being able to take it to Panama, to Guatemala, to the United States and different countries, Italy, and being able to see how people enjoy rum and say how good it is, and it's a very cool experience, really.
Nos hemos convertido en una familia y realmente lo que hacemos es destilar calidad, destilar pedazo de cultura y destilar un pedacito de Puerto Rico para llevarlo al mundo entero.
The seal of Rums of Puerto Rico to us is a goal to achieve. We've been working very hard for many years so we can be part of the Rums of Puerto Rico family. It's really a dream come true, man. It's something that we work very hard for, and we're still working hard to get there and to be there and to stay there for many years. That's one of our top priorities in this distillery, be part of Rums of Puerto Rico. That's very important to us.
All right, so it looks like they are all ready to go in Cuba Libre in Washington, D.C. So I am going to bring Ramon Diaz onto the screen now and enjoy the presentation, everyone.
Today? We are great. That's not enough. So you ready for the rum class?
Yes.
When I say rum, you know, all of you, what? When we got rum in our system, it's very different. Well, hi to everyone. My name is Ramon Diaz. I'm the Rum of Puerto Rico ambassador. We are in the U.S. pop-up tour. Right now, of course, we are here in Washington, D.C., but last time we've been in Philly, New York, Boston. So welcome to our tour. So today we are talking a little bit about what is rum of Puerto Rico, what's the difference to make rum in Puerto Rico and in the other part of the world, and then we're gonna finish with the tasting. Of course, in the middle of that, you're gonna have some meals, some food, and some cocktails. Today we're gonna taste 3 different brands. The top of the line of each brand, we're gonna taste Don Q Gran Reserva Añejo XO. Don Q is the best-selling rum in the island. Also, we're gonna taste Bacardi 10. Bacardi is the best-selling rum in the world. We're gonna finish with Rum del Barrilito 3 stars. That I always says is one of the favorites of all the bartenders. So we're gonna have, a very good choice for today. So let me talk first a little bit of what is Rum of Puerto Rico. So Rum of Puerto Rico, we are a government program that promote all the Puerto Rican brands. We are not Bacardi, we are not Don Q, we are not Barrilito, we are all of them. Different distillery, and the government represent all of them only for promote in the United States. In Puerto Rico, we got 7 distillery and more than 100 different kind of rums and different expression of every brand. So what you think? So I got, I don't be here talking and talking, for about half an hour or 1 hour. So I would like to all of you be part of the seminar. So I'm gonna be doing some question, and the people that answer that question, I got some gift. And I got my first question, but easy ones. All the questions are easy. But why do you think the government promote rum in the United States? Because when I say that, all the people say the government promoting rum. Well, yeah. Why you think the government are promoting rum?
That's
Why?
That's a hard question, man.
Money. This is very easy question. Money. Why? Why? Because all the rum that are sold in the United States pay some taxes, and the government of the United States kick back that taxes to the island, to Puerto Rico. So that represents more than $300 million a year. Mucho dinero. That represents more than $300 million a year. That represents more than 1,000 employees, direct employees. So that's why, the government, make all the promotion of the rums. Remember, Puerto Rico is the rum capital of the world. We are the biggest rum producer in the world. Nobody in the whole world produce more rum than Puerto Rico. That little island, 100 miles to 35 miles. Yeah. 70% of the rum that are sold in the United States come from Puerto Rico. You know that? 70% of the rum that are sold in the United States come from Puerto Rico. But you know what? But you know what? We are not, remember, we are not only Don Q, Bacardi, and Barrilito. We got another brands. But not only that, we produce a lot of rum and we sold in bulk for different brands. Maybe that brand don't say that are Puerto Rican rums, but the base, the rum, is made in Puerto Rico. So we got the biggest distillery in the world, that is Bacardi. And when I said the biggest distillery in the world, I'm not only talking about rum, I'm talking about all the brands that are distilled. Vodka, whiskey, bourbon, tequila, any. The biggest distillery in the world is in Puerto Rico. So that's why, we do all that. So because we are very proud of our rums. The government have a lot of regulation to make rum in Puerto Rico. Not in all places they got regulation from the government. In some places they do, but not too much. So let's start to talking about rum. And I got my second question. Very easy. What is rum?
There's one that comes from a sugar cane.
A what?
Sugar cane.
Sugar cane? Well,
I fermented and distilled sugar cane juice.
that's right. So I got a winner. So it's a distillation of sugar cane. It's sugar cane, of course, but we need to distill to get rum. It's a distillation of sugar cane. In Puerto Rico, one of the regulations for make rum, we need to make rum by sugarcane molasses. So when you are making rum, you can make rum with sugarcane juice. You can make rum with sugarcane syrup, but also you can make rum with sugarcane molasses. Does not mean maybe in Puerto Rico some brands, made his rum with sugarcane juice. But if you make your rum by sugarcane juice in Puerto Rico, you can say that you are a Puerto Rican rum. Because one of the regulations to make rum in Puerto Rico is you need to make your rum by sugarcane molasses. So if you follow all the regulations, you got a quality seal. The seal that you see in the back of the label. That quality seals mean that you follow all the regulations to make rum in Puerto Rico. So, what is the first step to make rum?
Fermentation.
Fermentation? Who said that? That's right. So this is the correct answer. So, but fermentation is the same. Is the first process. But you need to make the molasses. But how you make the molasses? You know how you make molasses? Yeah, you cut the sugar cane, you squeeze it, you take out the juice, then you start to boil. And when you are boiling, what happens? You lose what? Water. So then at that moment you got maybe a syrup. But if you boil a little bit more, you start to make crystal of sugar. So you take out that crystal, and what you got? You got raw sugar, and you got molasses as a byproduct. We can make molasses without taking out crystal of sugar, of course. That's depend, what kind of molasses you want. In Puerto Rico, we use high test molasses. So 80% of sugar is a very good quality molasses. So we got the molasses, and then we're gonna ferment it. And how we gonna ferment it? We need to add water. We need to add some yeast. Heat it a little bit, and in 24 hours, you got about 6 to 10% in alcohol in the fermentation process. In Puerto Rico, that's good for a white rum. But if we would like to make an aged rum, maybe we can have more time, about a week or 2 weeks. Remember, I'm not Bacardi, I'm not Dunkel, I'm not Barrilito. So I'm trying to talking about a little bit of all the brands. So we got some fermentation, about 48 hours. I got other, 14 days. So we got the fermentation and what we need to make rum. Remember, when we are fermented, we have about 6 to 10% of alcohol. But that's enough for a rum? No. 6% to 10%. Well, maybe for a beer or a wine. But yeah, but I need more alcohol, of course. So what we need to do for make rum? The next step. Distillation. You got all the winner. So distillation. So you need to distill. And how you gonna distill? You gonna distill in pot still, or you can distill it in column of distillation. In Puerto Rico, the biggest brand distill in column of distillation. We got a small brand that distill in copper pot still, other in stainless steel pot still. But it's a little bit different, both of them. When you distill in pot still, you distill in batch. When you are distilling in column of distillation, you are distilling all the time, 24 hours a day. No, don't stop. So that's why we are the biggest rum producer in the world. In the case of Bacardi, we got 3 column of distillation. In the case of Donkey, they got 5 column of distillation and distill it continuously. But if I talking about maybe Donkey have 5 column of distillation, but have another column, a single column in copper. In the single column in copper, they made the añejo brands. In the 5 column of distillation, they made the white and gold brand or expression of the brand. So we distill, and what we need then, age. So I got another winner. We need to age. So that's the most important part when we are making rum. We need to wait. Wait, and keep waiting. If we got an excellent product, a good quality product, we need to age. In Puerto Rico, by law, remember, we got a regulation to make rum. By law, we need to age at least 1 year. Not in all places they age the rum. In some places they distill and bottle and have the white rums. In other places, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. In the case of Don Q Cristal, the white rum is aged 2 years, it's a blend 2 to 3 years. In the case of Bacardi Superior, the age is a blend 1 to 2 years. But by law, you need to age at least 1 year. You need to always age the rum. But today, we're gonna taste some rum up to 12 year old, up to 10, and up to 10 too. So if you like a very good age rum, 6, 7, 11, 10, 12 years, is a good age for a rum in the Caribbean. So I got a fact here. If you age in the Caribbean, if you age in Puerto Rico, it's very different when you age maybe in Scotland with the Scotch. Because what? How is the weather in the Caribbean? It's hot and humid, both of them. It's hot all the year. Right now, maybe 85. Now in November. So what happened with the wood when it's hot? The wood expands. And what happened with the liquor that we got inside the barrel? Evaporate too, that's right. But also go inside the wood. Yeah, go inside the wood and take out color, flavor, and aroma. When that happened, the name is happened an organoelectric process. That organoelectric process is when you are taking color, flavor, and aroma from the wood, from the tanning of the wood. So in Puerto Rico, always hot, always you are aging all the year. But in Scotland, how is the weather? Cold. And what happened with the wood when it's cold? Contract. The wood contract. And what happened with the liquor? Can go inside the wood and can take color, flavor, and aroma. Maybe 4 months of the year it's hot, and then the liquor can go inside the wood and the organoelectric process start to happen. So this is a fact. If you are aging in Scotland, they lose only 2% of the alcohol. In Puerto Rico, it's 6 to 10. You lose 6 to 10% of the alcohol inside the barrel every year. So you need 3 to 4 years in Scotland to have the same color, the same flavor, and the same aroma as in Puerto Rico in only 1 year. So not only that, so that's why you don't feel a 20 years old rum. We got 20-year-old rum, but cost $3,000 a bottle. Because what happened if I lose 6 to 10% in alcohol every year? What happened in 20 years? What left? Just a little bit in the cask. So that bottle costs about $3,000 the bottle. Different to the Scotland. Also, we don't need to, if I got a 10-year-old rum like this one, you need a 30-year to 40-year-old Scotch for have the same color, the same flavor, and the same aroma. Also, in the aging process, we got another regulation in Puerto Rico. So what's mean that number? What's mean that number 10? 10 years of what? Of aging?
Youngest rum in the bottle.
The youngest rum in the bottle? The youngest? Well, the correct answer is that's depend in where are making the rum. In Puerto Rico, by law, we need to have here the youngest rum in the bottle. So that's right in Puerto Rico. But in other places, who knows? So I know some other brands. I never talk about names, but I know some brands that have a number 23 in the label. But maybe it's a blend 6 to 20 year old. Or maybe it's a solera aging process. And you are refilling the cask every year. I know another brand that have a 12 in the label, and maybe you said you take the bottle and you say, oh, 12-year-old rum, maybe it's a good rum. But no, read in the back, it's a blend of 12 different distilleries. I know another that have a 25 in the label. A 25, and maybe you said, wow, 25 years, and it's not a cheap bottle. Maybe it's a good rum, but read in the back, no, it's the 25th anniversary. Looks like a joke. So in Puerto Rico, by law, we can't do that. If we got a number in the bottle, that means the youngest rum in the bottle by law. We got a lot of regulation to make rums. We got government employees in every distillery watching all the steps. In the aging warehouse, only the key of the aging warehouse is a government employee. And they close the warehouse and nobody can go in. Nobody.
I have the key.
You have another key?
Of course you do.
So, remember, we got the perfect weather in aging. We lose 6 to 10% of alcohol. That's a lot of money too. But if we would like to have a very good product, we need to lose all that money. But that doesn't matter because we call it the angel chair. So when all that rum evaporate, where are going? Going to the heaven. So we share with the angels. So remember, we are the biggest rum producer in the world. We got thousands and thousands of barrels. So I swear of you, we got a lot of drunk angels in the double corporation. I swear. I swear. So that's the most important part to make rum, the aging process. And then what's the next step? You make the melassa, you ferment it, you distill, you age, and then what? Bottle? Not yet. Blending. Blending. You say blending too, right? Well, filter. No, but filter is okay because some brands filter first. Some brands filter first and filter then, at the end. So it's a correct answer to that. But blending. And what is blending? Blending is if I got this one, Barrilito 3-star, I take some barrels, 6 years, 8, 9, 10, blend it together, and then we got our recipe. This is the blending process. We blend different age of rums. Also, we add water, of course. Remember, this rum is 43% of alcohol, 86 proof. What that mean? 43% of alcohol, what does mean?
Still being hot water's been added to bring down proof.
Yeah, that's mean the 43% of the bottle, less than a half, is alcohol.
And the remaining is water.
Yeah. So the other is water. In the case of Barrilito, use rainwater. In the case of Donkey, they use water for a river. So the water is very important too, because half the 60% of your water is water. So the blending, and then we're gonna filter. So I got a question. When we got liquor inside the barrel for some years, maybe 1 or 2 years, and we take out that liquor of the barrel, what color do you think is gonna be that liquor? Brown, gold, amber, maybe? But what happened with the white rum? What happened with the white rum? It's not aged? Well, in Puerto Rico, by law, we need to age at least 1 year. But remember, this is in Puerto Rico. So you answer maybe is correct. Not in Puerto Rico, but maybe it's correct. In some places, they don't age the rum, only distill and then bottle. But in Puerto Rico, by law, we need to age. If I got a Bacardi Cristal, it's aged 2 to 3 years old in the white. So what we need to filter. We need to filter in charcoal. When we filter in charcoal, we take out the color, a little bit of flavor, and a little bit of aroma. For me, I like better the aged rum, but the white rum is the best seller in the world. Why? Because all the bartenders are doing a lot of cocktails with white rum. But I got another question. Why you think the rum producer start to make white rum? Why? Why you think the rum makers start to make white rum? Because maybe you said, well, you put in barrels, you age, and then you filter to take out maybe some flavor, color, maybe some aroma. Why? Yes, because when the vodka start to grow up, all the rum makers start to think, well, we need some product more light. So start, to make some different step to have this rum more light. Don Q and Bacardi start to filter in charcoal and start to make the white rums. For compete directly with the vodka, or make a lot of cocktails. As now, the white rum is the best seller of all the expression of the brands. It's the number one seller. Why? So, as I said, we make the melassa, we ferment it, we distill, we age, we blend, we filter, bottle, and then what? The most difficult part of my job. Let's gonna say some rum. That's the most difficult part of my job. I'm being, Boston, New York, Philly, DC. Tomorrow I'm going to Miami, doing that, talking about rum, drinking some rum. That's the most difficult part, the part of I need to drink it. Let me take out this. So let's gonna start with Donkey, the one that you got in the In the snifter is donkey. Let me talk a little bit about donkey.
No, but I just want to do something.
Fede, ¿tú sabes hacer eso?
No, que todavía hacía en Harvard.
Ah, estás aprendiendo de mí.
Just fill in
Okay.
jigger. Yeah, it'll do.
Let me talk a little bit about donkey. Donkey started to produce rum in 1865. More than 155 years making rum. Donkey is made for Serralle family. Serralle is a Spanish family established in Ponce, Puerto Rico, in the south of the island, and established at first to make sugar. But then they make sugar and have melassa. And what are we gonna do with the melassa? Feed cows?
Distill it. Distill it.
Make barbecue sauce? No, maybe in other places with the melassa, you feed cows or doing barbecue sauce. In Puerto Rico, we got melassa, we make rum. It's more fun. It's more fun. So, start to make rum in 1865 for more than 155 years. We got this bottle. This one is a pretty new bottle. Maybe having a market about some weeks, maybe a month. That was the other bottle, that one. If you find one of that bottle, you need to buy it because that's not gonna happen anymore. So this bottle have a special jiggle in the lid and measure exactly 1.5 ounces. So when you got this in your home, you can measure exactly 1.5 ounces for your visit. But remember, when you're gonna pour for you, you need to do a free pour because you need more than 1.5 ounces. At least I needed 3 ounces. So, but that's the new bottle. And change the names too, but it's the same recipe. Now the name is Don Q Gran Reserva Añejo XO. This rum is a blend 9 to 12-year old in American white oak barrels, previously used for bourbon, but also have in the recipe a Solera aging process up to 55 years. Solera. What's Solera? Solera is another way to age. You can wait in a regular aging process that you fill the barrel and you leave it there for like 9, 10, 11, or 12 years. That's the regular aging process. Always in wood. In this case, we use American white oak barrels. This is the regular way to age, but you can age as a pyramidal way. You got some barrels, one barrel, then 2 barrels, then 3, 4, 5, and then you got in the solera, in the bottle. What happened? You are refilling the first one, then you take out of the solera, of the bottom, you take out the liquor and start to refill all the casks. You refill the first one to the second one, the second one to the third line, and then you got in the bottle. And you are always taking out only the bottle, only the bottle. So we call it the solera because this is el suelo, solera. That happened with the wines too. With the wines, you can have some wine solera aging process. But you are refilling all the time. That's why in this case, we got a solera aging process up to 55 years. 55. But we are refilling. So because why? If I don't refill the cask, in 55 years, nothing left in the barrel. So that's what I'm talking about. That some brand have maybe a 23 in the label or any other number, high number, but it's in solera aging process. In Puerto Rico, I can add a 55 in this bottle. I can. Why? Because we are refilling this cask. And also I have some cask, 9-year cask. So I can add a 55 in the label by law. So in this case, this 55-year-old solera aging process is in cherry cask. So we got bourbon cask, 9 to 12, and then solera aging up to 55 in cherry. And we do a blending, and then we got our recipe of the Don Q Gran Reserva Añejo XO. Okay? Okay, let's start to taste. What we need to do first, you stir your rum in your sifter, and first you need to look it. And what you gonna look? You're gonna look the color. You're gonna look the Chinese. You're gonna look the tear or the legs. And what means that legs? What mean? Sugar? What? Oils? Alcohol? Tannins? All that. So means the body of the rum. The body. More slow going down the legs or the tear, that means have more body. Then let's gonna smell it. And how you can smell it? You can smell it with one side of your nose. You can smell in both of them. Or you can breathe by your mouth and your nose at the same time. You need more? I can do more for you. You know, I always need more than an ounce.
Yeah, you.
One more? Are you good? You got all of it. Okay. What do you feel when you smell it? A little bit of what? Cherry? Okay. Oak, of course. Caramel? Maple syrup? A little bit of banana? Yes. Wow. So let's gonna taste it. See. Salud. Cheers. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Delicious, right? All right. What do you feel when you taste it? Warm, of course. But where you feel the warm here? in the chest. And what you taste a little bit of vanilla or butterscotch, caramel, of course, caramel.
Wow. Quick question. So the Dom Two, do they do any of the caramel coloring, or is it just straight?
No,
Straight
no.
category? Yeah.
No coloring, no caramel. In any of them. Also, in the case of Ron del Barrilito, the label says 6 to 10, but when this is a very craft rum, sometimes they need to add, give me a 16-year-old rum only for correct color. So this is 6 to 10, but a lot of time using 14, 15, or 16 years old cats for correct color. And not much distillery do that. If I say any. All right, let's gonna talk about Bacardi. Bacardi is the orange stuff, the orange one. Yeah. You can pour in your filter you want. So let me talk a little bit of Bacardi. Bacardi is the best-selling rum in the world and started to produce rum in 1862. More than 158 years. It's a Spanish family, Bacardi family, established in Santiago de Cuba. Then opened a second distillery in Puerto Rico in 1936. So a lot of people think that Bacardi family opened a distillery in Puerto Rico because the revolution, because Castro. But that's not true. That's not true. Castro take the power in 1959. And then in 1960, take over the distillery of Bacardi. In 1960, the family of Bacardi family moved to Puerto Rico and stayed with the distillery that have since 1936. But why you think the Bacardi family opened a second distillery in Puerto Rico? Why?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was gonna say like because of imports, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. For
Yeah.
yes, it's more easy because Puerto Rico is part of the United States and more cheaper. Not only that, what happened in 1990 to 1933 in the United States, in the history of the United States? Prohibition. Prohibition. And what happened in the Prohibition era? What happened in Cuba? A lot of people that live in the United States start to traveling to Cuba in the weekends. For what? For party, for rum, for cigars, and women. That's right. That's part of the history. I can miss that. For traveling in the Prohibition era, 1990 to 1933, start to traveling to Cuba and start to drink a lot of Bacardi. And Bacardi start to making famous in the United States. The Prohibition era ends in 1933, and then in 1936 opened the second distillery in Puerto Rico. So that's only a fact of the history of the Bacardi family. So let's gonna take some Bacardi. So what we're gonna need, we need to look at first. Yes, they know I said that it's the orange one.
The orange. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look the color, look the tier and the legs. In this case, this is Bacardi 10. It's 10-year-old rum, aged American white oak barrels. At least 10-year-old. Smell it. Salud. Cheers. How you feel that? Which one you like better? Donkey or Bacardi? Donkey? Bacardi in the back? Donkey? Bacardi? Smoother Bacardi? I think it's a tie, maybe a half and a half.
You're gonna stay like you're in a political panel here, so you're like
You're representing them all.
The third.
I like Bacardi too very much.
So what is this aged in? Did you go over that, or what type of cask is this aged in?
American white oak.
American white oak. So
Yeah.
no, because
Bourbon.
they have a sherry cask finish.
Yeah, well, in this,
Bacardi does.
in this one,
This is all straight. Like
All
bourbon,
straight, yeah.
all bourbon.
yeah, they got another expression of Bacardi that have a double age person in bourbon and then move, yeah. then move to
That's the
sherry.
one available at the distillery.
At the distillery or in the La Casita de Ron.
Do they rechar the barrels or these just reused barrels? They rechar.
They make both. They have some barrels from Kentucky and other they charge again.
They rechar again.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's depend of the expression of the brand. Remember, they got different kind of char. Toast, char, deep char.
2, 3, 4.
Yes. But what happened with the Bacardi Black? A lot of people think that have a lot of caramel, but that's not true. They use deep char cask. Yeah. And what happened? They got different colors, different flavors, more smoky. But the color comes from the wood. But does not mean that it's black is more darker. Does not mean it's more aged. Maybe the Bacardi 10 or Bacardi Limited Reserve. Only that means that use other cask. More char in the inside, more tannin. All right, let's talk a little bit of Ron del Barrilito.
You can only get that rum, that one in the distillery, and La Casita. And that's the rum bar. It's rum bar.
Here's a question. They do little things at the beginning, like the island or
So that's cool.
Of course, you don't have to do that.
Okay. In the case of
You know,
have a lot of things. In the case of the donkey, that one is a double H. They got some in cherry cask, another in bourbon cask. But That's depend of the distillation process. In the case of donkey, have 5 columns or a single column in copper, so that changed a little bit. In the fermentation process, that changed too. If you are fermented for 2 days or maybe a week or 2 weeks, that's another different. The seed that you use for the fermentation is different too. So have a lot of things that can change the product, the flavor of the product. Okay, so let's talk about ron del barrilito. Rrr. Ron del barrilito. So ron del barrilito start to produce rum in 1880. In 1880. In this case, this is a blend, 6 to 10-year-old rum. It's a blend 6 to 10. In cherry cask from Spain. But in the case of Barrilito, it's a little bit different to Bacardi and Donkey. Barrilito made another step. They use a maceration process with different kind of dry fruits. They have a big pot, wood pot, with the liquor and different kind of dry fruits. And then in that maceration process, they add a little bit, about 1% of the cask with this maceration aging process. Use a red steel spirit with the maceration process in every cask. So it's a little bit different to the other two brands. Some people call it the cognac of the Caribbean. That's right.
I call it crack. I call it crack.
You call it crack?
It's awesome.
Yeah, I know it's awesome. So some people call it the cognac of the Caribbean. If you look, that cherub, that little angel that is in the center of the label, that cherub, that angel, in Greece, that angel have food in his hand because this is the angel that gives the food for the gods. In Greece, they changed the food for a pharaoh because they said this is the ram of the gods. You look the label, have a P and F in the label, P and a F. That means Pedro Fernandez. P and a F, his owner. But I got a history of the brand, a history of the name. At first, in 1980, the people call it the most of the rums as the last name of the owner. So all the people know this from Fernandez rum. From Pedro Fernandez.
Was he mainly like Venezuela before that?
Pedro Fernandez from
Pedro Fernandez, like rum that comes from Trinidad.
Yes.
Same person.
No. This is Spanish. This is Spanish family. Pedro Fernandez was from Spain. But all the people know the rum as the last name, Fernandez rum. But what happened? Pedro Fernandez have a special barrel in the back of the house. What happened? When the people come to the house, Pedro Fernandez, for the special guest, give it that special barrel that have in the back in the house. Ron del barrilito that have in the back. But what happened? The mouth spread in the town, and all the people know that Pedro Fernandez have a special rum in the back of the house. And when the people or the guests visit Pedro Fernandez, and Pedro Fernandez gives Fernandez rum, the guest said, I don't want Fernandez rum. I want rum del barrilito that you got in the back. I want rum of the little bottle. So what happened? His son, Edmundo Fernandez, his name is in the bottom of the label, changed the name as a rum del barrilito because all the people know the rum as a rum del barrilito. That's been rum of the little bottle. All right, so let's gonna taste some rum del barrilito. Remember, barrilito have barrilito 2-star. That is a 3-year-old rum. Barrilito 3-star. That one is a 6 to 10. Barrilito 4-star. That you can only find in the distillery or in La Casita de Rones in Old San Juan. And also have the barrilito 5 stars. That is up to 35 years. But costs about $1,000 a bottle. What you smell in barrilito? What you feel when you smell barrilito? Wood? Wood?
It has like smelling like type of maple syrup.
Maple syrup?
Yeah.
What you smell? Rum. In the back. Maple syrup? Of course, you are eating maple. But that's that's a good pair. You can add a little bit of rum in your maple for your French toast. In my restaurant, we got French toast, and we got maple syrup made with rum del barrilito. So,
Where's the restaurant?
La Casita de Rones in Old San Juan. La Casita de Rones. All right, so let's gonna taste a little bit rum del barrilito. Cheers. Salud.
What a wonderful thing.
Wow. I love different.
Good stuff.
Wow. I want one. Tú te mantienes ahí. Sorry? 43%, 86 proof. Okay.
¿Cómo se llama tu amigo? ¿Ah?
So,
Ernesto.
86. This one is 86 proof, 43%. That one, this other two is 40%, 80 proof. Yeah.
Ramón, háblate un poquito más de la historia de Bacardi.
The Bacardi.
Sí.
Well, Bacardi. Let me talk a little about Bacardi too. You know what's made the bat? Or why they use a bat as a logo? Bacardi.
Oh, the cave, where else? Is the
That's right.
Or your wife's calling.
he has a quick look. It's like,
Hold on, no sé quién.
it's impressive
So-
that he turns it every
What's made the bat?
No, es Federico, estoy con Ramón. Pero
That's
está
right.
dando una charla.
So, and these two things. When Bacardi started, to produce rum
Ah, sí.
in Cuba, in Santiago de Cuba, not all the people, know how to read. And then need a logo, something that people said, I want the rum of the bag. So need a logo because not all the people can read. That's the first thing. The other, his wife found it in the warehouse and said, this is a lucky, a fortune, and they start to use the logo because the wife said that is gonna be our logo. What else?
No, es que la gente no sabía, la gente no sabía leer mucho, entonces.
Ah,
sí.
Okay.
Y él se inventó charcoal filtration, ¿verdad?
Yes. Well, I don't know. They said that, but don't you say other things? Okay, so I got more questions and I got more gifts. Okay. First, I need to know at least 2 different regulations to make Puerto Rican rums.
1 year. Must be aged 1 year
At least 1 year of age.
and molasses. Oh yeah, must be mixed.
What?
Molasses.
Molasses? So I got 2 different winners.
Yeah, we got these guys a hat.
We're gonna run out of hats at this rate.
Yeah, we got that.
Oh, 1, 2. Whoa! I don't worry, I got a hat for everybody.
We like shit.
This is part, this is part of my job,
In that case, I'll take 2 of them.
Okay. I got another question. You been Puerto Rico? Yeah. Yeah, okay. I got a question. You need to raise your hand. What is the national cocktail of Puerto Rico? The national drink? Mojito?
No, pina colada.
No.
Pina
Piña
colada?
colada. That's right. So I got a winner. Piña colada. You know what? The piña colada is one of the most influential cocktails in the whole world. It is in the top 5 seller in the whole world and was invented in that little island, Puerto Rico. If I can prove it to you. If you don't believe me, I can prove it to you. Who knows a song said piña colada? Huh? You know a song saying Long Island or Cosmopolitan? No, but we got a lot of songs saying piña colada. We got candles of piña colada flavors. We got oils of piña colada flavor or smell as a piña colada. For the cars, smelling for the cars with piña colada smell. Also, you got condoms of piña colada flavor.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. All right, quick question. I'll put you on the spot.
Okay.
Whoa. The Caribe or the bars downtown? Which is the true
Well,
Pina Colada inventor? Because there's a debate, right?
Caribe Hilton.
The Caribe Hilton.
Caribe Hilton.
Okay, which they say, but then there's another.
The Caribe Hilton was in 1954. The other is in Barra China.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Barra China have a little bit different in the recipe.
So it is the Caribe.
But yeah, Caribe Hilton. Caribe Hilton. by Ramon Monchito Marrero. The bartender was Ramon Monchito Marrero in the Beachcomber bar in the Caribe. And Star at first was invented with Don Q Gold. With Don Q Gold. As now all the people make his piña colada with white. But
the original was
Don Q Gold.
very cool.
In 1954, we don't have white rum. Well, we got some kind of white rum, but it's not the clear one. You know, something a little bit more clear. Okay. Wow. Okay. So I got another question. A difficult one. What is the scientific name when we are taking color, flavor, and aroma of the wood, of the cask? Yeah.
Yeah, he mentioned it.
Oh,
I
we
really
went
forgot.
scientific now. Oh, geez. You lost me in science, man.
Osmosis? No, but start with O. Or
You don't want to get that fun.
I can name that.
or
Organic.
yeah. Or what? Organoleptic process? Oh, I got a winner! I got a winner! Organoelectric process. Okay. All right. I got another question. Okay. How many employees the rum represent from Puerto Rico?
How many?
How many employees? Direct employees. I said at first.
7. Wow.
What? 7 direct employees? We got 7 distilleries. You know how many employees I got in every distillery? Remember, we got Bacardi and Dusty are very big distilleries. 1,000 direct employees, that's right.
Whoa!
1,000 direct employees. And represent more than $300 million a year only in taxes. Okay, I got my last question. What is the best rum? Puerto Rican rum. It's a good answer. But no. Well, yes.
The one you like.
The one you like, the one you got in your glass in a moment. The one you like, you can like whatever. But you know what is the best rum? The one you got in your cup in the moment. You got a lot of hat. So who don't have hat? Okay, well, I got a question for you. Easy one. What is the name of the rum ambassador that are doing the seminar right now? I start with. You can say. Ra. That's right. Tell it. Ramon! I got another winner! Okay. Everybody have hat? All of you? You too? Okay, perfect. No, entiendo. You got two?
Another question.
Another question.
Picture time. I thought that was the question too.
Well, another question. Okay.
How many, man?
How many years we age in white rum? At least 1 year. That's right. All right. So I need to say thank to all of you. So I need a big applause for all of you because you answer all the questions. You're doing very great. Yeah. So you are more than welcome in Puerto Rico. When you go to Puerto Rico, you can visit me in my restaurant in La Casita de Rones in San Juan. In my opinion, the best restaurant and the best bar of Puerto Rico, of course, because it's my bar. Also, you can download the Puerto Rico Rum Journey. We start to make different kind of tours in every distillery, 7 different distilleries. And also, we got the Taste of Rum. I don't know, Federico, you maybe would like to say something about that.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. But for sure, when COVID finished, if you guys can make it to put the National Rum Festival of Puerto Rico, which is Taste of Rum, it'll be awesome. I'll be there dancing, and Ramon will be there dancing.
In front of the camera.
For
In
sure.
front of the camera.
You want to see him shaking. But at the same time, we actually did launch the Puerto Rico Rum Journey. This is our way of, it's kind of a bourbon trail, like the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, but now with the distillers of Puerto Rico. Only 2 distilleries in Puerto Rico had a tour, and we convinced them all to offer some way or another type of tour to visit all the distilleries. And of course, you're not gonna get tipsy. It's just like simply very little and enjoy our island. But thank you very much for being here. Stay safe. Thank you, Ramon, for the great seminar. And, I think we all learned a lot. And thank you. Enjoy the rest. So we have some Puerto Rican coffee coming our way and a little bit of the dessert with a little bit of Puerto Rican chocolate. All right. Thank you.
Benny, we need to say goodbye to everybody online.
Adios.
Hey, let's say goodbye. Adios.
Adios.